Hey y'all, Hunter here. That doesn't feel right. Sorry about that, guys. What's up, guys? It's the Hunter Man here. Destiny 2. Made by Bungie, the creators of Halo 1, 2, and 3, the best Halo games of the series, honestly, like the only good ones of the series, left the games to make an RPG like FPS similar to those Halo games. This game is, actually, it was, phenomenal. There is a lot of controversy surrounding the game right now, as you probably all know. This controversy is stemming behind the microtransaction hell that the current state of the game is in. I thought that I would go over my experience with Destiny and Destiny 2 and show you guys what it's like for a player who fell off the game early, returning in 2025 hoping to have some fun. And let's just say there are some ups and downs. So what is Destiny 2 like for a new player in 2025? Let's find out. Before I dive in, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the support on my last video, my love letter to the Xbox 360. It was my first time ever making this style of content, and I put a shit ton of work into that video, and seeing the likes and the beautiful comments made me feel so fulfilled and happy. The point of the video was to make people reminisce on their childhoods and experiences within gaming, and that is how it appeared to be received, so thank you all so very much. This is why I'm here and why I'm making this content. Once again, if you guys enjoy the video, please show your support by liking and subscribing to keep me motivated to bring you guys my best content. My first experience with Destiny was on the PS3. I remember hearing about this game and getting so hyped for its release. Halo on PlayStation, like, oh boy, it's the best of both worlds. I loved Halo, and not having a 360 to play, I hadn't got my Halo fix since the original Xbox. When the game released, I downloaded the demo, which was basically just the game, but you could only progress so far before you needed to pay, and I loved it. It felt like Halo, but smoother. The guns felt so cool and nice, the story felt fleshed out, and there were so many unanswered questions as for the lore. I remember my older brother coming into the room as I played, and he even stayed to watch for a bit because it was just that good. I eventually got the game. I don't remember how, because my parents didn't like me playing games, so they didn't buy me any besides like for holidays or for my birthday, so I most likely got it from game sharing with my more fortunate friends. But I grinded Destiny until the first DLC came out. This was an issue, however. The introduction of raids and the increased light levels and new weapons, these DLCs were great, but the price was not. Like I just said, I didn't have a way to get games or DLCs regularly, so I was just out of luck once a DLC comes out. In Destiny, they limit what people who don't have the DLC can do, which is my main problem with the games. If you didn't have the DLC, you couldn't participate in the new content added that the others were playing, so if you wanted to play with friends, they would have to go to the brokey content, which nobody wanted. You also could no longer progress. They added a cap to the light level if you didn't have the DLC. So eventually, if you weren't already there when the DLC came out, you would go as far as you could and then run out of content. All you could really do is replay content where you were unable to get any new gear, or I guess you could play Crucible, the PvP mode, which was my least favorite part of the game, where you would just play against the people with the DLC who had the new loot and were inevitably way stronger than the brokies. All this made it so I had to move on from Destiny 1, which is a trend that we'll see again, until a new game was announced, Destiny 2. The announcement of Destiny 2 had the same effect on me as Destiny 1. I was so excited to get back into the fight and get back that gameplay that I missed out on in Destiny 1. I remember when the beta launched, I was actually on vacation with my family at Great Wolf Lodge. Yeah, the Great Wolf Lodge. I was a little too old to enjoy the place as the average kid, but I had something to pass the time while we were in the hotel. My Xbox One! Yes, surprisingly, in the time between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2's announcement, I got an Xbox One, and I had preloaded the beta and was ready to play it on the hotel Wi-Fi. If I remember correctly, the beta included the beginning of the campaign and then Crucible. The game felt great and looked amazing, with new abilities, weapons, levels, maps. I was bought in immediately. When the game released, I, like always, had no way to get it, but I eventually ended up at the local GameStop determined. I am pretty sure my grandma took me, and anything I could possibly find to trade in to hopefully have enough to get the game, I brought. Random 360 games, random PS3 games, hell, my right shoe off my foot, anything I could find, and I had just enough trade-in credit to get the game. I went home that night and played my heart out. I got maxed out, had so many exotics, completed the free raid that came with the base game. I was having a blast. However, once again, like always, I was too broke to get the DLC. All the reasons that I had to drop Destiny 1 made me drop Destiny 2 as well. The issues were literally the exact same. I will admit that the game had more content in the base game than Destiny 1, but it only lasted for so long. So I am so bored with modern gaming. When I booted up the game, it was how I remembered. You start in orbit with a beautiful view of space and your personalized ship. Well, now it is. When I first booted up, I was met with a cross progression screen, so I actually was able to get my old characters from my Xbox, which was really easy to set up actually, and it was nice to get my characters back.
Dude.
But after this, I was immediately pushed into a cutscene for one of the DLCs. And might I say, the cutscenes are actually insane. They look so beautiful, the scenes are always so massive and well put together, they get me excited to see what will happen, and excited to beat the ass off of whoever the big bad is of the DLC. It then shoots you straight into the first section of the DLC campaign. No option, no choice, and they're always rushing you. I can't stop to think, okay, what's going on, or can I do this later? They're like, move now, go, 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 or else, bad stuff, yeah. So just to get to the tower or anything, I have to get through the level, which is a pro and a con because it makes you feel immersed with the pressure and urgency of the new threat, but at the same time, could I like choose to play this, not just be thrown into it? Like, I get that it's basically just advertising for the DLC, and it does do a good job of making me want to play it more, but I'm just not a fan of the forced advertisement. And this happened to me every single time I booted up Destiny 2 until I ran out of DLCs for them to advertise to me. It was getting annoying at points. Once I was actually able to get into the game, I went to the tower and explored a bit. Returning, I had a bunch of items to claim and quests to activate, which was a chore to have to run around all over the tower trying to find each person to get these from. Like, I wish they would just add a feature where you can just access all of the vendors and such without having to run around to them all. Like, just give me a menu where I can just collect everything or claim quests without having to go to each specific vendor. I was then going around to all the vendors and I found this one, the Eververse vendor. This is essentially the microtransaction station. They offer armor sets, weapons, ships, and etc. And I can't say for sure, but I really hope that this isn't the only way to access these items. The only things that you can get for free, organically, by playing the game, seems to be emotes and color schemes. I already hate this because it dips into pay-to-win territory, but the currency here, it's called silver, which I feel like is so lame to be called, but microtransactions are lame too, so I guess it's fitting. And the prices aren't that atrocious, but what are the DLC prices. I ended up playing until I was at the no DLC light level cap, where the only loot I could get was below the level cap. It literally took me like 5 hours max to get to this point. So I thought I would check out the DLCs, and these prices are insane. Like $100 for DLC. The older ones are still pretty up there as well. I'm starting to think that maybe this is where other game developers are getting their pricing schemes from. So I will not be getting the DLC until I find it at a better price for a key on a third-party site. The gameplay is how I remember it, still very good. The movement feels fluid and the weaponry feel just right for the setting. The maps always look amazing, and with the puzzles included to make the gameplay more than just running around shooting aliens, I was having a great time. However, I am a slut for progression in games. I reached level 100 on 2 different characters in Diablo 4, and with me catching up to the light level cap, I felt so unfulfilled trying to play. as if I got new gear or I would see a drop, I would be so disappointed looking to see that it's just the same power level if not lower than my current gear. One thing I did particularly enjoy was the Gambit game mode. I do not remember if this was in Destiny 1, but the mix of PvE and PvP in this game mode was done really well. The premise of Gambit is that you need to eliminate threats that spawn on the map and insert the enemy drops into a container until you reach enough to unlock the boss. When you do store the drops, it spawns blockers, which are just mini bosses on the enemy's map that they must kill in order to deposit their drops. Once the boss is unlocked, the first team to kill that boss wins the match. The PvP aspect of this is that your team and enemies can send an invader every so often to the enemy's map to kill the opposition. Every time the invader kills someone, the boss regains health, hitting a stall on their progress. One more positive I can think of off the top of my head is all of the seasonal and regular quests. There are so many of these, and they oftentimes have decent rewards as well as progressing the battle pass that also has respectable rewards, even for the free version. If you wanted to 100% these, you would have so much content to do. However, to complete these as a non-DLC owner, you would have to be replaying content. One thing I don't like is that some of these require you to change your subclass, which I hate because I know what I like. I want to play as this class and subclass. Don't make me switch to complete challenges. This actually about wraps up all I have to say about the game at this point. I know there is plenty more for me to experience and more I could talk about, such as Crucible or the plethora of seasonal and regular quests. But with no DLC, I am no longer progressing, which makes me not want to play the game any further. I personally would not recommend starting Destiny 2 in 2025, unless you either already have the DLC or find it cheap online. But I suppose that is for all of you to decide. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. Leave a comment down below telling us all about your journey with Destiny and your opinion on the current state of the game. At this point, I do see all the comments and I will try my best to respond to you all. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy. See ya!